What's up, guys? I didn't think I'd ever be putting out another Open Ultra video, but I'm very excited that I did find a team that worked. This team has worked in Open Ultra better than any team this is not hyperbole, any team I've ever played before. I went on an 11-game win streak to smash through Veteran on Friday, so this was a while ago, back when Veteran was a little bit bigger of an accomplishment as well. And deja vu, right? A little bit of the same team as the last video. No legendaries, a bit weird. But let's get right into the gameplay, see how this works. Talonflame is an absolute monster in Open. Huge thanks to my Patreon supporters. Couldn't be doing this without you guys. But yeah, let's get going and take a look at some of this gameplay video. So if you didn't watch the last video, I'll go have a quick intro on how this team works. It's a kind of an ABB team, a dual core team. Obstagoon Gengar and Obstagoon Talonflame, both great cores. In Premier, taking this team to Open Ultra, and Talonflame surprisingly higher on the rankings, the PV Poke rankings in Open Ultra than Ultra Premier, right? I was a bit skeptical because those rankings include beating Giratina with a bait, beating Swampert with a bait, all that stuff, which in my opinion is not very realistic. But Talonflame takes huge advantage of Pokemon like Cresselia and Registeel, just those really tanky Pokemon, and is able to farm them down. And if Talonflame is able to farm something down, it's unstoppable. The other thing that's very common in Open Ultra is a Charmer in the back. Talonflame stomps those as well. They see you saving 2 shields. They're saving 2 shields. Talonflame with 2 shields is incredibly good, even against those Charmers with 2 shields. So it's just, it is really just a win-win scenario. Talonflame, the perfect storm right now in the meta. And that's kind of how you have to play this team. Try and set up Talonflame for a sweep with at least the shields, and just go from there. Let's talk about the Gengar moveset. If you'll notice in the last video, the only real change besides the fact that I fixed the IVs, these are the true IVs of these Pokemon, instead of a mistake that I made. Let's take a look at this moveset. In the last video, we're looking at Sludge Bomb on Gengar. As a safe swap in Ultra Premier, Sludge Bomb is by far the best. There's so many Snorlaxes, so many Obstagoons. You can't just hit them with Shadow Ball and really expect to do anything. Whereas I think in all of my sets, and I've played a lot of sets with this team, I've played at least 2 sets with every viable variant of Gengar, so Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, Sludge Bomb in this position, and Shadow Ball by far outperformed all of them. There's just no Snorlaxes. There's no Snorlax, there's no Obstagoon, right? And if there's Obstagoon, it's usually in the lead. So Shadow Ball, it's everything pretty hard. It honestly prevents Umbreon even from farming you down. It hits that hard. So Sludge Bomb gets you into some trouble versus some of the other Pokemon. Then Focus Blast is way too slow. But the sets I played with Focus Blast, there'd be three games out of 5 usually where I'm like, oh man, I wish I had Shadow Ball. This game would be a win if I had Shadow Ball. Let's take a look at this game. We're in game number 2 right now. Able to win the first one. My opponent tried to save 2 shields for Talonflame, but I also had a Talonflame, so was able to pull that out. We have a Giratina lead. You love to see these. This is where you want to see them. Gengar, a little bit squishy to deal with Giratina. Talonflame beats it in the Sims, but you need a bait, which realistically will never happen. So Obstagoon takes almost no damage from the Shadow Claw variant. My goal here is to win this with quite a bit of energy or shield advantage. So I have a decent amount of health and a decent amount of energy, and they swap in their Fairy, and here we go. Melmetal comes out. This is something you love to see on Gengar, but hate to see on Talonflame. I go for the bait, but it fails. I was not calling a lot of baits correctly in these sets either, which is kind of an issue. But the team was strong enough that it was able to kind of carry through all this anyways, dealing a punch regardless. And the thing about Melmetal versus Gengar, you can take a Rock Slide pretty comfortably here, unless they decide to try and 2-shield everything. You don't even end up getting that low. So yeah, they switch into their Fairy, and it's time to get out. I don't want them to get any farm. Go straight to Talonflame. Talonflame hates to see Melmetal. Rock Slide's double super effective, but you'll love to see Melmetal, once you have a couple flame charges going, once you have a little bit of energy coming out of a matchup, that's when you love to see Melmetal. So shield up the Meteor Mash. It could be a Psychic that can flip the match. but other than that, you resist Meteor Mash and Moonblast. And in this game, I do have Obstagoon still remaining, so I don't feel the need to end that Clefable matchup with any energy. I just want to get it down and start taking down that Melmetal. Still have Gengar, still have Obstagoon. Melmetal can't take all 3 down. It requires charge moves to do that. So, able to 3-ball that opponent. Perrserker lead, this is fantastic for Obstagoon. I play this lead a little different sometimes. Sometimes trying to get cute and catch the close combat. This was one of them, but it didn't work. It's worked in the past, and if you catch the close combat, the game is over. If you don't, put yourself into a lot of trouble. So this is a really good good thing that they switched out here. If they had just forced the issue and thrown some foul plays, I think I would have been in a lot of trouble. But in this case, they try and catch on the G-Fisk, and I don't throw, so I'm able to get that Shadow Ball off, which does a ton of damage. But unfortunately, not able to reach that second punch and either force a shield or deal some damage. And I'll have to tank an Earthquake on Goon. Look how much damage that does. G-Fisk in Open Ultra, very good Pokemon. Kind of assumed they were coming back in with something else, but they're a Perrserker. But that was a bit of a silly assumption. It was likely that they had a better counter. So we'll go back into Talonflame and look at that. An entire team besides G-Fisk, Talonflame, the team works out yet again. Gengar, despite not being a fire or flying type, very good at baiting out those Talonflame counters. The most common switch in Gengar are those Mudshot users, which usually come with like fast charging moves, which Talonflame doesn't like. So stuff like Swampert and G-Fisk can hit it super effectively. You have Melmetal as well that likes to come in on Gengar for some reason, despite the fact that I think Gengar has a pretty good matchup. And we're just gonna take down that Togekiss right there. All right, next game. Let's see what we have. Obstagoon versus Talonflame itself. So I've learned this is not a very good matchup for Obstagoon. I play this out many times in Premier now, throwing out my 7th Night Slash because I don't want them to get any free Incinerates through. That's how you lose even harder. And I just let them throw. I've started no shield in the first one. Everyone just flame charges, becoming very predictable. And then I'll switch to my Gengar to kind of force them out. And here we go. Counter switch into Umbreon. This is what I was talking about. First set with Shadow Ball, I tried to bait Focus Blast a bunch. They never shield. Because guess what? Even if you're running Focus Blast, it doesn't one-shot them. It doesn't do anything. That's why I don't really think Focus Blast, especially in Premier, it's fine, I think, because there's Snorlaxes and stuff. But man, there's no play for it when Umbreon is the main thing you'd be using it against. So I shield up once on Obstagoon because I know I'll have to shield once anyways. You try and end this match with as much energy as I can. Oh, but I actually do manage to take a shield and switch into Talonflame. So the reason I switch here to Talonflame, I need to get the ball rolling. I need to get an energy advantage over their Talonflame. But unfortunately, I was not able to do that. They throw a Brave Bird right away, which really caught me off guard. I had my count wrong. I thought they were only at a Flame Charge. So that was pretty deadly. I wasn't trying to call a bait or anything. I legitimately was just thinking they're at a Flame Charge. But what happens here is Goon, oh no, not good. Goon is able to get quite an energy advantage. And maybe if I hadn't thrown the wrong moves and gotten a couple of boosts, this game would have been a win. But it looks like we're pretty far out. I'm gonna surrender there after throwing the Cross Chop. But yeah, rare loss with this team in Open Ultra, especially with the Shadow Ball variant. Yeah, and I guess I haven't addressed this yet. There's no legendaries on this team. A lot of people pop by my stream while we're playing these games, let me know, and I appreciate that. You know, I love when people let me know if I've made mistakes. Like, they're like, oh, did you know you queued for Open Ultra? Like, that was a mistake. No, it was on purpose. This team performs better in Open Ultra. Talonflame does. I don't think Gengar does, but Goon also does. So you have a couple of these premier Pokemon that just perform better in Ultra. So Cresselia matchup in the lead. What I did was I switched to catch the Moonblast. I've been switching. I know it only takes 7 to get to the Moonblast, but I've been switching at 8, and I've caught it almost every time. And honestly, Cresselia's been paired with Umbreon most of the time as well. So you can expect that switching from Umbreon into Gengar, and Umbreon is also a Pokemon Talonflame doesn't really like to see. It's just too spammy. It's not like a tanky Pokemon that you can abuse by spending a couple shields. really hate shielding foul plays. Getting this Pokemon out of the way early is also pretty good for the team, and knowing Cresselia is in the front, you just have to really hope it doesn't have future sight. So they actually hard swap Cresselia back in, which is what I want to see, because now I can lock my Talonflame into this. And they're going to get a charge move off. I still have 2 shields. I don't mind spending, or not spending one. If they have a Melmetal in the back, I really need to save them. They have a Registeel. It's kind of mad because Registeel's moves are both resisted. And they're going to get to another move here. And I'm going to shield. It is what it is. I'm just trying to keep my Talonflame a little bit healthy. I have a little bit of energy on it for whatever comes back in. The Umbreon's very low. And it's Melmetal. So, unfortunately, I didn't save my shields for this. I really should have no shield and Moonblast. But if they were going future sight, I would have been in some trouble. That, guys. As you see, these rock slides, they're gonna KO. But my goal is to the reason I shield there, I know I'm not getting to another move. I'm trying to make sure my incinerate damage goes through. You see that deals like 15% of their damage or their health, and then I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna throw this cross chop right away at that Melmetal, take it out, and in comes Umbreon. Umbreon is in no position to do anything, and I knew that, so it's really just about taking out the Melmetal there, and that's why I shielded the Talonflame. Alright, so 4 set there to start it out. You can see how low I was before this. I was in the 2300s. But a string of really good sets brought me right back up. I fell really hard at the beginning of Ultra Premier trying to make Talonflame work. It's not a Pokemon that you can just pick up and get used to. It's the Pokemon using a 5-turn fast move that plays like a Charmer. So it's a bit tricky. I have a bit of a health advantage here. Fast move deny my opponent's move, so I'm a little bit ahead, and they know that, so they actually switch and catch on Cresselia. So super nice play by them, but I have 2 Cresselia counters in the back, and I want to save my Talonflame for later, so we're gonna go in with Gengar. I really don't want to have to shield a future sight, so we're gonna throw the Shadow Ball, and I don't think they're at a future sight, and Moonblast doesn't KO, so Shadow Ball there by far paying off. And this Goon can't farm me down either, even with Shadow Ball, right? That Shadow Ball should be enough at that HP to take him out. And we're going to get into Talonflame, get the ball rolling, and this is not what your opponent wants to see when you're running a Scizor in the back. That Talonflame comes out and just absolutely wrecks it. So, seeing that Bug Steel typing 4 times super effective damage. Sorry, 4 times is not correct, double super effective damage. Talonflame just loves to see that. So Swampert lead, this is where you like to see it. Nothing on the team really beats Swampert that hard, but Obstagoon has a pretty neutral matchup, so that's what you have to go with. And Shadow Swampert is nice too, because you can kind of slowly take it. You can chip it down a little bit easier. So even if you lose your Goon or something like that, Gengar's Claws start adding up. Flame Charge does a little bit more damage, so even if Goon is only able to leave it kind of low, you're still able to deal with it in the future. Unfortunately, I think I CMP tied here and lost it. That's why I let my Goon go down, because they're just gonna let their Swampert go down, and I go in with the Gengar and they come with the Melmetal. So this is perfect. Like I said, Gengar can tank a Rock Slide, and I don't go for the bait this time. I go straight for it, and they do shield. So I don't know. I just can't get a bait right on with Gengar today. I do have to shield here, because I do want to get this ball off. You have to do Shadow Balls before they get to 3 Rock Slides, so that's why I didn't bait for the first one. It was it's just guaranteed that I'm going to get to the second ball and take out Gengar. And then likely they're going to come in with Registeel, right? If they're going to hard swap like that, they're running ABB for sure. Unfortunately, after I swapped a Talonflame, they are able to still get a Hydro Cannon off, and that deals a ton of damage. So I might get fast move down. Just kidding, Registeel exerts almost no fast move pressure. So we're gonna get the ball rolling with these flame charges, and Registeel's forced to throw this flash cannon before I get to the next flame charge. We'll see if Gengar can now outpace Shadow Ball. We have 1 extra Shadow Claw worth, I think. I farmed up a little bit more on the Melmetal, but I didn't want to risk it too much. I wasn't really counting. I don't count very much. Probably a very bad habit I need to get used to. They're able to take that one out as well. They this team loves Registeel, but Registeel is kind of going the way of the dinosaur too, I think, just with a lot of counters running around. Mew lead, this is where we want to see it as well. If Gengar or Talonflame can get energy somewhere else, Mew can't come in either. But I don't know what this Mew would be running. That could scare Obstagoon. Low sweep, I think, potentially. But I've never seen a Mew run one. It is instead running Rock Slide. I shielded just in case. But I probably shouldn't have. I don't even think low sweep would KO. I spent a shield, and look at the HP on my Goon. It is near 100%. So I don't mind spending a shield for that. I know I said, hey, save 2 shields for Talonflame. But if you're going to put yourself in this advantageous of a position health-wise and Pokemon-wise, I think do it. And let's look at the switch in here on Gengar too. The Lapras. So yet again, another Pokemon Talonflame doesn't like to see. So Gengar and Talonflame honestly have extremely similar matchups, and no one really seems to be noticing that. They come back in with their Togekiss, and they leave because they realize that I've got Obstagoon for Lapras. Wait, no, Lapras isn't even there anymore. I've just got Talonflame versus Togekiss, and I've got a shield. So, yeah. So with those Charmers, you do want to save a shield for Talonflame. Like if you know the final matchup's going to be Charmer versus Talonflame, save a shield. You're going to need to shield a Psychic or especially an Ancient Power or a Crunch from Granbull, depending on which Charmer you're seeing. We have Lapras lead. They're staying in. This is good news for Obstagoon. You can play this 2 different ways. If a bad lead is staying in versus Obstagoon, kind of spend shields to keep him healthy because you know that he has a better matchup in the back. People aren't switching out. Because if people aren't switching out, then Lapras is at least the second worst versus Goon. Togekiss comes in, so we see the Empoleon. Exactly right. This is a BAB team. It's kind of weird. But we're going to go straight Shadow Ball. And it gets shielded. So, I don't know. Not a lot of really good bait calls on these days. I don't know. Baiting is not something I've ever been very good at. But we're going to go in with the Goon and mash that cross chop button as we come in to try and take out this Empoleon. They're going to shield, which is fine. And they're going to get to Hydro Cannon. They try to farm me down, but they didn't quite do the math correct. And I've got a shield for this Togekiss. I was just going to go for Brave Bird to kind of make things a little bit quicker. Flame Charge would have been fine too at that point. Just ramp up. And it's just going to take 1 Incinerate to take out that Empoleon. If they did have a Hydro Cannon, I've got the shield still. That's why the Brave Bird's a little bit safer in this case. But Cresselia lead. Let's see if I can catch another Moonblast. A bit risky if you don't. So I throw my Night Slash on 6 because I'm trying to fast move deny. So get all my energy on 5. Throw an extra counter and deny, and then I'll switch on 8. And this guy does not bite. He's waiting for the switch the whole time. So well played. And here we go. Umbreon, Flower Crown, best buddy Umbreon. Ugh, you hate to see it. You hate to see the switch in, but it's honestly not too bad. They almost all throw their moves. I think this guy slightly undercharges, which is pretty impressive. But I don't think you want to undercharge this versus Gengar, right? These Shadow Balls add up. Sure, you have a little bit more energy for the Goon. But this puts Umbreon in a perfect farm down range for Goon. So I don't mind eating a couple last resorts. Let's go to 100. Let's get to 100 energy. Especially when the Pokemon coming back in is a Pokemon that resists your counters, but takes super effective damage from your charge moves. So it's being incredibly efficient with your energy here. So all those Umbreon players out there, please let me just get 2 Shadow Balls off. That would be very helpful. They do hard switch into their Crest. I missed the catch. I actually was going for it. But now I'm going to be able to ramp up a little bit. Talonflame. And I just throw its Grass Knot right away because they think I'm going to throw at 5. But really, you know what? If they're going to keep throwing moves, I'm just going to go to 100 energy, right? Throwing Grass Knot there is game losing, I think. Because now I have 2 Flame Charges. The reason I'm tapping my screen is if they bring Umbreon back in, right? But they don't. So I build up to a Brave Bird there. In case they're actually counting, we're going to go for another Flame Charge. Take another Shield. And we'll go for another Flame Charge. Right? I think they were kind of waiting for me to throw that Brave Bird. But it just is not in the cards. And and I have to make a pretty good catch onto Goon. And they undercharge. So this saves me right here. I was planning on just throwing a flame charge, triple boosted, double boosted flame charge at the Swampert, but instead I'm able to catch this move on the Goon, and they undercharge it because they want to get some farm. But I'm also going to get the boost. So this may have been the luckiest game of all time, and I don't know if I'll still win. We'll see. Yeah, one incinerate's enough, and as the time ticks down, it's a countdown to a 5-0 here, I think, with Talonflame. Yeah, there we go. Clock is ticking down to that 5-0. Talonflame absolutely celebrating like it's New Year's Eve right there. As we pick that up. Probably didn't deserve to win that game, but my opponent made some very crucial mistakes at the very end, and I got pretty lucky with that boost, which otherwise my Goon would have had to tank at last resort, which I don't think it really could have at that time. Once again, exact same play versus this Cresselia, probably the most common thing that I've seen, so I've gotten pretty good at playing it. We're going to switch at 8 and catch this Moonblast. As I assume, well, most players at my level are also doing fast move denial. And you'll notice in the Swampert switching, I'm not throwing Shadow Punch. That's how you lose the game. The Swampert's going to farm up more. You need to keep farming. If they take you out, it doesn't matter, right? They spent their energy. It's all good. Don't need to worry about that. They just don't want to spend a shield. And you don't want to spend shields either. You want 2 shields for Talonflame. So if they throw energy right away, they think they're making a great play. Which is good, because they're going to play sloppier. And it also plays into your game plan. So I could have charged a little bit more here on Obstagoon. A little bit of a mistake from me. But Night Slash doesn't quite... Actually, I couldn't have. But in this case, I'm actually going to let Goon go down. We're going to switch right away to this Talonflame. Talonflame versus Shadow Machamp. This is not a very good matchup for Talonflame. I've studied the sims on this one because it's ruined a lot of my team building. But you have to call one bait or you can't win the matchup. So I correctly call the first one as a bait. It's cross shot. If they get the baits off, they win the matchup in the 2 shield and the 1 shield. There's nothing you can do as Talonflame. So it's all at the mercy of baits. I do shield a cross shot, but that's fine. Because I know they're not gonna be able to get to a rock slide, and that's a bit scary. So in this case, I'm gonna go straight for this Brave Bird because they come back in with Cress. They switch to catch that incinerate damage so their Machamp can get to another move, but it can't quite get to it. So Talonflame is able to sweep with 2 shields yet again. And even if it could, I can just switch into Obstagoon there, and I probably get 1 counter off to take out that Machamp as well. So it didn't really need to be handled all by Talonflame, but here we are. And you love, like, what takes out that much health from Cress? Have you ever seen Cress lose that much health in 1 shot before? I think even Shadow Ball from Gengar didn't do that much. But triple boosted or double boosted Brave Bird? Yeah, that's the stuff right there. That's the stuff dreams are made of. Ooh, we got the boost. So this is a little bit of a bait. My plan is to take an Icy Wind and switch out. Well, the problem is I get the boost here, so it makes me want to stay in and not waste it, so I do. And guess what? We're rewarded. This game was absolutely insane. This set even. I get the boost again. So you know what? We're gonna farm all the way down, and they're gonna come with Lapras. Not the Pokemon you want to come in with into a boosted Obstagoon. The Cross Chop. That's not even the only Cross Chop. I have 2 Cross Chops stored up for this. So Obstagoon doesn't quite get to that last Cross Chop. It would have been amazing to pretty much take out 2 Pokemon and have a shield advantage. Unfortunately, looks like we're gonna have to sack Gengar here. Lapras has come out, which is something that Talonflame isn't good at, and at this point I kind of regretted switching in Gengar because I was a bit scared that perhaps Talonflame might match up poorly against something in the back if they had, for example, another water. Running a double water team with Lapras, like what does Lapras in the back mean? And it means Giratina. So this matchup is a bit tough. I should go for a Flame Charge here because a Brave Bird is not enough. You need a boosted Brave Bird and some extra damage to take it down. So you see I farm a little bit past, and they actually try and catch, so really well played by them. But unfortunately I just need to get a Brave Bird off here, and it doesn't KO, but it's close. So They actually saved me again. So yet another game where I'm kind of saved by my opponent. If they just Shadow Clawed again instead of throwing their move, I probably would have lost. But it is what it is. Giratina, despite what it says on PvPoke, does lose, or he does beat Talonflame. You'll notice that was even in the 0-1 shield. That was with no shields. That Flame Charge doesn't. So, another Giratina lead versus Obstagoon. You love to see it. And they catch my Night Slash on Swampert. So, this is exactly what I wanted to see. And we get the boost. What a set. This set was crazy. I was extremely fortunate in this set. First game, I think, was decided by the boost. Second game, decided by opponent misplay. And then this third game, I get another boost. And it was in a lead where it's a pretty rough situation. I kind of have to decide. Hey, there's this Swampert, which is something my Goon is the best versus. But there's also this Giratina, which is something my Goon is best versus. And they actually swap back in their Giratina. So a little bit of deja vu. Swapping in something that takes a lot of damage from these charges. I'm not going to shield the Dragon Claw. I think they're trying to force me to do that. They had a move bank. They're like, oh my god, I need to get some shields off of this Obstagoon. And I do bite this time because that Night Slash did 50% of Giratina's health. I know I'm going to beat Giratina to the next one. We're playing shields down now, which is really scary for Talonflame in a way. But in a way, it's slightly beneficial too. You're not going to play the Flame Charge version of Talonflame, but you're going to be playing that Brave Bird version of Talonflame instead. And Talonflame is a little bit versatile like that, but at the same time, your opponent is going to know which version of Talonflame you're playing. If you have two shields, you're going to be Flame Charging. If they have one shields down, it's going to be Brave Bird. Politoed lead. Politoed is honestly an absolute monster. In Ultra League, holy, getting to getting to Weather Balls in just 4 Mud Shots is a little bit broken in my opinion, and it gets a lot more bulk in Ultra League than it does in Great League. It's not even that squishy in Great League in the first place, so add this guy to your timeout team. Having a charge move every 8 turns is almost just like having an 8-turn fast move, but yet somehow people don't complain about that as much as the high fast move pressure Pokemon. And yeah, I have to stay in versus this because my backline doesn't beat this either. And I switch out to Talonflame. So I'm going to switch as well. Let's go with Gengar here. And I'm going to get to the Shadow Ball. For the punch. Let's see if my bait works. It doesn't. Oh my god, nobody falls for anything nowadays. I'm going to shield because even if they Flame Charge, I will be able to farm all the way down after that Shadow Punch. And that puts me in a pretty good position because this Toad doesn't like energy being thrown at it. But unfortunately, I didn't realize it was that low. I could have just thrown a punch instead of this ball. But we're just going to throw the ball anyways. I don't think they expected me to be there. I think they were throwing then and just got caught in the CMB tie. Giratina comes back in, which could have been a little bit of an issue because my Goon is so low. But I'm able to get the Shadow Punch off. Pretty big deal. Now we're going to switch into Talonflame. Talonflame is going to be something that Giratina is going to have to throw this energy at. And then if I get to a Brave Bird, game is over anyways. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about Goon being at a little bit of health and being in 2 Dragon Claw range or anything like that. Talonflame just be a brave little bird. No boost required this game. Not a great lead either, right? So don't have to rely on them. But it is what it is. That's a part of the game. I really do wish they removed the energy boosts, but that is just my opinion. Some people love the boosts. Pretty hype when they happen, but pretty awful when they happen to you. Great catch. I have an opponent on this Lapras. Very risky one though, because Obstagoon dominates Lapras, so this switch-in is kind of confused. But it means that they really don't have an answer for Goon, and there's a lot of teams I think in Open Ultra that don't. Even Ultra Premier. It just has a fantastic typing and fast move coverage. So fighting and Dark really good together. We'll see what comes back in. It's probably going to be a Charmer if they made this play. So I'm ready to switch right out. And Mew comes back in. Now, this is fine, right? Bringing Mew into Gengar is fine. I just don't want Mew into Talonflame because a lot of these Mews are carrying Rock Slide. So I'll shield up, and it is a Rock Slide, right? So, and I get really greedy trying to farm down. I can't shield this. There's just no way. We just have to get the ball rolling. Talonflame. And so Talonflame versus Charmer in the 1v2 shield. See how this goes. It's a bit closer than you might think, just because Charm puts out quite a bit of pressure too. But you really only have to spend that one shield. On the Ancient Power, overtap a little bit, which is a bit of a danger with Talonflame, right? The 5-turn fast move, you overtap, you're spending eons waiting to be able to throw your charge move. But we're going to get to our charge move there before they get to their second Ancient Power. The Flame Charge will be enough to take them out. At that range, I think my Goon might have been able to take out the Togekiss as well. Night Slash. It's pretty low. Night Slash, a couple counters. And would you look at that? That is an 11-game win streak right here. I remember saying on stream, I have no idea how long this win streak is. It's at least 10. Let's see how long we can keep it going. But that's what happens. You just jinx your streak times. Melmetal lead. This is pretty rough, because Superpower is something you absolutely have to respect. I try to catch it. No dice. And they're just going to charge up to 2. Bro, I don't mind tanking 1. Because what if they come in with some Dark type? Let's tank the second. Or let's shield the second one. Preserve my Gengar. And it's well worth it in this case. We have a Cresselia coming right in. And they shield. And honestly, I probably should have baited after I saw what they were doing. They are trying to farm me down with Psycho Cut, which is honestly a very, very good play, but extremely risky. If I'd gone for baits, I would have been able to take it out with Shadow Ball instead. I'm going to come with Talonflame. No risk in coming with Goon. And they actually press the Future Sight button instead of the Moonblast button, so kind of all starts falling apart at this point. I do have a shield advantage on Talonflame. But if something comes in that I can't really Brave Bird, then I am in some trouble. And I may even need to double shield this Talonflame here, or throw this Flame Charge. Yeah, because they're going to get to another move right here. They farmed up an absolute ton on the Gengar, and I kind of misplayed this. Bye, Talonflame. And hello, Togekiss. Ugh. Should have thrown the Flame Charge. I got a little bit greedy and miscounted, so. And next match versus Lemon Lime. So, very good player. I was excited to be matched up versus him, but I think this might be the hardest counter team of all time. We have Charizard in the lead. I mean, this isn't the worst for Goon. It's not a good matchup, though. Not a good matchup for Goon. The ABB team, I'm waiting for him to throw a move. Which probably should have no shielded on Goon, because I really need shields for my other Pokemon, but a little bit of a misplay. I want to get the shield back with Goon before I switch out. I do, and we go in with Gengar. And he counts very well. He's a very good player, right? So that was going to happen. And switches to Snorlax. So remember when I said there's no Snorlaxes in Ultra League? Guess what? Here's one Shadow Snorlax, and this is an absolute disaster already. I don't even know if we need to see the third Pokemon in this game. He might just be able to win out here. I can't shield on Goon. My goal is for them to Superpower, so he played right into my plan. And now he's debuffed, so hopefully Talonflame can farm all the way down and use this shield and energy advantage. Right, just energy advantage. Kind of take down the rest of the team. But there we go, shielding a Dragon Claw that I absolutely should have let through. I guess I would have had to shield one anyways. No, it was a Blast Burn. Yeah, we're not even going to see this third Pokemon here. Or are we? No, I'm going to force it. I wanted to see what was in the back. I wanted to see if, hey, if I had not misplayed this, there have been a chance. And the answer is no. So it would have been counter after counter here. Not a super hard counter on the lead, but hard counter on the switch and hard counter on the closer. So if they're able to line those up, which they are all the time, game over. So just not able to win that one. You're gonna get team comped every once in a while, right? They got spoiled here in this 11-game win streak. There's a couple of bad leads, but mostly neutral leads. And some good leads. But here we are. We have Poliwrath in the lead. This is not great either. I'm gonna switch to try and catch a Dynamic Punch, but this player is too good. Throws the Ice Punch instead. And at this point, I might have to start shielding, lest I get mud shotted down. So I go for the bait here. I'm trying to recoup a little bit of this. I finally get it. And they switch in. And I'm going to just throw this punch off before I get taken out into Melmetal. So Ooh, Melmetal with a little bit of an energy advantage is not great, but because I swapped out on Goon, I have an energy advantage on Goon. So we're going to be able to get to these cross shops before they're able to... Ooh, never mind. Sorry about that. I have CMP tied, so just the worst of all worlds here. I just assumed Goon beat Melmetal in CMP, but it doesn't. So live and you learn. I don't know the CMP values or the attack values for most of these Pokemon. I just hard swap into Talonflame because despite being a water type, Poliwrath doesn't actually do that well against Talonflame. Dynamic Punch is resisted, and Ice Punch is just neutral, and Mud Shots are resisted too. So despite being a water type, it really doesn't have that much play. I'm just going field once to keep my Talonflame healthy, just in case what they have in the back is a Charmer or something like that that doesn't really care about shields. Talonflame in the 1 shield versus 0 with an energy advantage is pretty powerful, and they're not switching out. So likely if they switch into Melmetal, maybe something like Registeel in the back. And that's something that I absolutely doesn't like to see Talonflame. Cresselia lead. This very familiar face, this little duck. This time I don't even throw my move. I just switch out. I don't know why I think I was actually talking to a lot of people during this. So playing a little bit differently. But you'll see this is a little bit more advantageous of a scenario that I've set myself in. So by accident, I had discovered a potential better way to play that Cress lead. If they're going to switch out anyways, then why not? And if they're going to switch in something like a Swampert or a Umbreon, nice to have this extra energy. And I can just use to guarantee this switch without even spending a shield. I'm going to take a Hydro Cannon. Even if they get to another Hydro Cannon, because I haven't taken Mud Shots and I've taken Psycho Cuts instead, my Obstagoon is still really healthy. In comes Talonflame versus Goon. I just want to soften it up a little bit here. Grabbing the shield is pretty huge. But my goal here is to let my Goon go down. I want them to throw. I don't want them to farm me all the way down. And I don't think this Talonflame can either. I don't think it really has the chutzpah to believe in itself and farm me down. So here we go. Talonflame versus Talonflame. But one of them has 2 shields. One of them has 1 shield. Not sure why my Talonflame loses CMP. We have the same Talonflame, but it has lost CMP every time I've run into another Talonflame. But it doesn't matter. I'm just going for the Flame Charge. So in this case, I also know they're just going for a Flame Charge. I shield anyways, because it probably does more damage than anything this Cress has. I'm kind of on the hoping this Cress has Moonblast Grass Knot Train, otherwise I'm going to lose. So they make a really good decision too. They're not shielding the first Flame Charges. I could have actually went for Brave Bird there and won the game, but I decided to play it safe and just go for the Flame Charges, and I'm lucky they just go for the Moonblast, and they don't have very much energy, so we're going to get to that Flame Charge right before they get to the next Moonblast. Take out that Cress, and roll into that Talonflame, now triple boosted, able to take it out in 1 more hit. So this is what happens, right? Like, you just play shields up with Talonflame, and you win so many of these games. There's not many Pokemon that deal with that, and if they're still in the back after Gengar switches in, then your opponent is next level playing or stream sniping or something like that. So Giratina into Swampert. Like I said, this is a really tough scenario. Last time I got the boost to win it. This time I don't think I'll be so lucky. I haven't got the boost in a while, right? So if you like, even though, well, that's confirmation bias too, right? You look at this video, and if you were to calculate the amount of times I throw Night Slash and the amount of times I get boosts, I feel like it would be around that 12.5%. But when you get it 2 times in 1 game, everyone's gonna say it's like, oh, you get so lucky, blah blah blah. But what about all these games where you don't get a boost, right? And that's confirmation bias. That's why people think all these other things. It's because we're trained to look for patterns. I'm talking over this because you've seen this Goon Swampert matchup 100 times now between Premier and Open. You know how it goes. And they bring back in Giratina. So this is incredibly interesting. Why are they bringing in Giratina back into Goon? Is this a misclick? This is a next level play. They're trying to get 100 energy farming down the Shadow Claws. I don't know what's going on, but they do let me get to another Night Slash, and I am thankful for that. Obstagoon has taken out 1.5 Pokemon by himself just by spending a shield. I can't afford to spend another one, right? So we're gonna come in with Gengar, and even though that's a fantastic matchup for Gengar, you know what? We're gonna come in with Talonflame instead and get this ball rolling, right? Gengar should be better saved for Giratina. And if Talonflame can start rolling and get some flame charges up, Giratina is not going to like to tank a Brave Bird, or even these flame charges once you get rolling. So they do have a shield. So I'm going to guess I do go for the flame charges here. Because he is kind of low. So just forcing him to throw some energy. My lost condition here is getting farmed down by Giratina. And having Gengar have to take a Shadow Sneak. But as long as Gengar doesn't have to take a Shadow Sneak, we're okay. Switching to Gengar right away and just take down that Giratina before we get off a move. I do believe that was the last game of this set, and therefore this entire thing, 2-5-6-2. So that's a 200-point gain in just 4 sets with this team in Open Ultra. Reminder, I did try it with Focus Blast. I did try it with Sludge Bomb. It just always left me wanting some more. But yeah, this is the team, and this is the team that I've had the most success with Ultra in a very long time. So you guys have made it this far. Thank you so much for watching as usual. All my socials there in the description. My Twitch link is there if you do want to see some of this gameplay live, as opposed to a couple days later whenever I have time to unfortunately make the video. I was out of town this weekend. I love seeing everyone stop by and saying they're from YouTube and they're on Twitch for the first time. I do think Twitch is a pretty great streaming platform that a lot of people who enjoy these videos, not just mine, but all these other content creators, who enjoy these Pokemon Go videos, a lot of these content creators also stream on Twitch. So being able to games live it's a lot more hype. A lot more hype for sure. Anyways, like I said, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all of your support. I couldn't be doing this without any of you guys from the... Appreciate it. And thanks for watching.